لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. صدق الله العظيم. وقال الله عز وجل في كلام الآخر يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. صدق الله العظيم. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. وبعد. Dear respected brothers, sisters and beloved children, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I bear witness that none is worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I further testify Sayyidina Habibuna Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is his last messenger and his servant. To whomever Allah guides, nobody can ever misguide them, and to whomever Allah leave to be misguided, nobody can ever guide them. This is what we believe. Having said this, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessing that He has bestowed upon all of us. Rather, those who could hear my voice, it's a great blessing for every one of them that Allah Rabbul Izzat has granted acceptance to our dua that we had made. Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan. We are making this dua for 2 months in advance, asking Allah, oh Allah, give barakah during the month of Rajab and Sha'ban and allow us to witness the month of Ramadan. And bifadlillah, Allahumma lakal hamdu wa lakal shukr, all of us are enjoying the blessing of the month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this and grant us an opportunity to enjoy the month of Ramadan and benefit it to the fullest inshaAllah. And to the degree that this Ramadan become the best Ramadan in our life. That is the intention that we have, and we hope to accomplish this goal inshaAllah this month Ramadan. I have recited a verse from the Holy Quran in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called this shahr with its name. And Allah says, Shahru Ramadan alladhi. It is the month of Ramadan. Unzila fihi al-Quran. It is the month in which Allah has revealed the Holy Quran. Purpose of the revelation of the Holy Quran, not to just beautify our shelves with it, or to take it at the time of dispute to take oath on it. Rather, hudal linnas. وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِّنَ الْهُدَى وَالْفُرْقَانِ. It is the guidance, it is for the guidance for the humanity at large. not limited or restricted only to the believers and Muslims. So especially now that we have kids sitting in our midst, Quran is not the book, holy book for the Muslims only. In the language of Quran, in the words of Allah, it is the book for the humanity at large. So we cannot say that it is only our book. Our duty on us is to make sure it reaches every single human being. And we, bifadlillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala, are the one who accepted Quran وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِّنَ الْهُدَى وَالْفُرْقَانِ as a criterion between right and wrong and clear guidance. So it is to the Muslims, it's a criterion between right and wrong. It is the book that we will refer to when we need guidance and hidayah and tawfiq. It is the book that we need peace and comfort. It is the book that we read to communicate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a believer. Walakin, the right of the Quran on us also to share it with the humanity at large. And Allah talks about this specific month. I wanted to make sure, at times I have asked youth when I talk to them, why do we fast? They say, because we have to. Then I ask, why do we fast? They say, we're supposed to. Then I ask, why do we fast? Some says, because everybody fasts. But the purpose of the fast was totally different in the language of Quran. Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum, la'allakum tattaqoon. O you who believe, fasting has been prescribed to you as it was to the people before you. So the purpose of the fast was to instill taqwa in you. The purpose of the fast is to inculcate taqwa. What is taqwa, ya Imam? Loosely translated, God consciousness. Thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before you say or do anything. I would like to go further. Before you even allow any thoughts to process in your mind, you want to ask yourself, is it okay with Allah or not? That is the highest level of taqwa that we all should desire to achieve. So the purpose of the fast is to inculcate taqwa, to be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What relationship does it have with the fasting? Fasting is very unique ibadah. Very unique indeed. And you will understand in a minute. When you pray, others come to know that you're praying. When you give zakah or charity, the recipient will come to know that you're discharged. When you go for hajj, the world will come to know. But when you fast, it is only between you and Allah. You can very quietly sip water without anybody ever knowing if you don't disclose. But we don't do this when we are fasting. Why? Because we know that whether anybody knows or not, Allah will surely know it. So that close relationship of God consciousness with your act of worship called as-siyam has a unique relationship. Thus, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed us, Allah says, as-sawmu li wa ana ajzi bih. Fasting is for me and I shall reward it personally, or I am the reward for it. What does it mean? That by fasting, we literally inculcate taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is God consciousness. So you become continuously aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from dawn till sunset, every single time when we have desire to eat or drink. We don't. Why? Because we are reminded subconsciously that we have made the niyyah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we will not break this. So that is the uniqueness that we have. And this happened every single year for the whole month. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us an opportunity to train ourselves to be muttaqi. And taqwa is a backbone of our religion. To what degree taqwa plays in one's life? We all know Al-Quran is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 1, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. That is the book in which there is no doubt. In spite of it is being free from doubts, it is guidance only to who? Hudallil muttaqeen. The Quran, in spite of its being the word of Allah, in spite of its free from doubt, guides only those who have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, taqwa is needed in order to benefit from the Quran also. The more taqwa that you have, the more hidayah that you will be able to extract from the Quran. Did you ever wonder? At times we read Quran from cover to cover and finish without having lasting impact on us? Did you ever wonder even sometimes Huffaz have found doing something wrong? Could it be that we are lacking the taqwa, which is the secret, which is the key, which is the code to unleash the benefits of the Quran? If that's the case, Ramadan and the fasting, the purpose of the fasting is to inculcate taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows this, and that is why He put this beautiful system. Every single year, one whole month is going to be allocated inculcating taqwa, because taqwa will enable us to drive guidance from the Quran. Second important aspect of taqwa that serves. We all compete with each other doing good. We want to be the best in the eyes of the creation. We want to be respected and recognized and appreciated for the services that we do and contribution in the maqam that we have in our community and society. And we try so many different things to achieve that level. And listen to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to say. Surah Al-Hujurat, Surah number 49. Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qaba'ila lita'arafu. O mankind, we have created you from a single male and female and scattered you in many different tribes and groups, so that you get to know each other, not to put down on each other, but to get to know each other. And then what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most honorable in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who has most taqwa. You become honorable in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator. He will make you honorable in the eyes of the creation. When Allah recognizes you, the creation recognizes. When Allah holds you on the esteemed level, the creation will have to do the same. The secret, the Islam gives very beautifully, secret to the success. While the world is searching success elsewhere, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving a shortcut. Gain taqwa and you will gain everything. Last but not the least, we do so much work. We do ibadah, tilawat, and act of kindness, have good mannerisms, and we go extra mile to help those who are in need. All of these things, ultimately, what do we want? We want Allah to be pleased with. We want Allah to forgive us. And what happens when Allah forgives us and when He is pleased with us? He grants us entrance into the eternal paradise. And listen to what Quran has to say in that regard, and what taqwa has to play with it. Allah says, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضُ أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Run and rush towards the forgiveness of your Lord and the paradise, the width of it's wider than the heavens and the earth. That too also is prepared for those who have taqwa. In the interest of time, these three examples directly from the Quran should give us enough incentive to make this Ramadan a meaningful Ramadan. Make this Ramadan a memorable Ramadan in our life by having a purposeful fast. The purpose of the fast today is not because everybody fasts, but because everybody have to fast and everybody is fasting. No. But the purpose of the fast is to inculcate taqwa. And that can only be achieved with conscious effort and intention, and setting up short-term and long-term achievable goals. And in a minute, I will share with you. I changed the topic of the khutbah today because I saw kids here. And these are the future leaders of Muslims in America. And we want them to have a purposeful life. What better way to start living a purposeful life than to have the purposeful ibadah and starting out the siyam. So once we have this, when we train in every single thing in Islam that we do, we must have goals. Just like we have goals in our life. In school, we have certain goals. When we complete certain projects, we have certain expectations from it. When we have certain tests, we want to score in a certain way. Teachers have certain goals, employees have certain goals, employers have certain goals, business people have certain goals to meet that. And we all work diligently towards meeting those goals. But when it's come to Islam, we have no goals. And that has got to stop. And we will make sure, inshallah, this Ramadan will be a transformative Ramadan for us. in aspect to our approach to the religion, inshallah, summa inshallah. Every single thing must have a purpose and a reason and goal. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith that I recited before you, "Man sama Ramadana imanan wa ihtisaban, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbih." Anyone who fasts with belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and expectations, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shall forgive all of his or her sins. This hadith is beautiful, but only portion of it is being practiced by us. First, this hadith tells us we need to have an iman, which we all do before Allah. We also need to have expectations, meaning setting up goals. What is it that you hope to achieve from the month of Ramadan? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you should aim to be forgiven by the end of month of Ramadan. Was that a goal before we start the month of Ramadan? Were we thinking about it? If not, this is the first Friday of the month. Let us make this correction in our niyyah. My goal is to be forgiven by the end of the month of Ramadan. Second, my goal is to inculcate taqwa through fasting. Third, my goal is to establish relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Quran. I want to feel that I'm communicating with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when I read the Quran. I want to feel connected and spiritually connected and communicating with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when I'm standing in qiyam, in my salah. I want to feel the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from dawn till sunset when I fast. All of these things require niyyah. Innamal a'malu bin niyyat. Intention. So when we intend, let's take this one as an example of the fasting. When you take your sahur, what goals do you have to achieve till the sunset of that day? What are the three things that you would like to let go of that you're not so proud of and Allah and Rasul does not approve of, and it is part of your daily routine? Working diligently whole throughout the day to getting rid of it. And replacing that vacuum with something good that ought to be in your life and it is not yet. And examining towards the end of the day, when you're breaking your fast, have you really achieved your goals? If you have not, la taqnatu min rahmatillah, don't be disappointed with the mercy of Allah. You have yet another day to do it. But work diligently and work and achieve. If in this Ramadan alone, only 5 bad things parted from your life and you replace with something 5 good, you've achieved. You have created a reason to celebrate Eid indeed. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ, Allah says. When you witness this month, start fasting. وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ. If you happen to be ill or on a journey, you are exempt from it, but make up those days in the later time. وَلِتُكْمِلُ الْعِدَّةِ. When you complete this, وَلِتُكَبِّرُ اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. Then glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why we have the tasbih that we say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. We do this in Eid. Why do we do this? Because of this verse. Allah is saying, وَلِتُكَبِّرُ اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. Do that because Allah has guided you. Guided you to do what? All that khair that you did throughout the month of Ramadan. Fasting, reading Quran, achieving level of taqwa that you needed to, and contributing whatever you can for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help those who are in need in any shape and form. It is that goodness that you have achieved during the month of Ramadan gives you a reason to celebrate. So we have got to literally work towards creating a reason to celebrate. Otherwise we are not deserving of celebrating our Eid. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, Allah says, so that you be among those who are grateful. These are the goals that we need to have from the Ramadan. That is nowhere on our radars. If we are not reminded, this Ramadan, like many Ramadan, may leave without having lasting impact on us. So I hope and pray that I have conveyed the message loud and clear, making this Ramadan a memorable Ramadan. Making this Ramadan a transformative Ramadan in our life. Making this Ramadan a best Ramadan in our life. This can happen if we make the niyyah and make dua. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it happen for all of us, inshallah, summa inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to practice Islam in our daily life. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا مولانا محمدا عبد رسوله قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا مولانا محمدا عبد رسوله قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار لا يعذ بالله. Very briefly inshallah I wanted to shed some light on my previous experience with this beautiful community of yours. This is not the first time I have come to your masjid, but last time when I was here you used to pray salah in gym, and the last time when I was here, that when you already have the groundbreaking for this masjid construction, and they had asked me to come when we have seek permission to raise funds for the construction of the masjid in Bolingbrook. Then I came and I asked, looking at the project that you have, that brother, why did you allow us to come and you yourself in need of the funds? Are you sure you do want me to request your community to give money for our masjid? And I stand corrected right away. He said, that Sheikh, it's not your masjid. I said, excuse me? He said, yes, it's a house of Allah that you have come to collect funds. And who are we to stop you from asking people to support that? And the same Allah who will take care of that house of Allah will take care of this house of Allah as well. I was so moved with that you cannot imagine. And as I drove in the parking lot, and when I saw this magnificent building, masjid, I said, Allahu Akbar. The yaqeen and the ikhlas of this community, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided them beautiful house of worship. And that day, I collected funds for the masjid that called Masjid al-Jum'ah in Bolingbrook. MashaAllah, they have about 1,200 to 1,500 people praying Jum'ah every single day, and you stand to collect the benefit of each and every single musalli who's been offering salah over there because of your contribution. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant acceptance to your ibadah, He gives you yet another opportunity and yet another opportunity, yet another opportunity. Ulama says when you are allowed to come to the masjid the second time, know that your previous salah that you offered in the masjid was accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you are allowed to fast the second day, know that previous fast was accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you are allowed to give a charity second time, know that your previous charity was accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What a beautiful way to have the assurance. So mashallah tabarakallah, I wanted to congratulate you for having done such a fabulous job of building this beautiful community of yours. Today, once again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided you an opportunity to think of individuals in our community, particularly the ummah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Today, I stand here for the project of Helping Hand, Orphans Project. When you see as an orphan project, it's just an orphan project. But I want you to dig deep down into the word orphan. What qualifies one to become orphan? Is it of their choice? Do they enjoy that? And what will happen to the person when that person is called orphan? To our kids, parents are everything. Sometimes they even think of their parents as God, because they believe everything is possible by their parents, and they feel very secure and protected in their presence. And they believe they can have the world if their parents nod their head, yes, you will have it, when they ask for it. When such parent disappears without warning, without their permission, you could imagine what might goes in the heart and the mind of that individual, innocent child. It is that child that your Habib, my Habib, Sayyidina Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once wore. He too also lived a life of an orphan, knows the pain and the need of an orphan that can never be substituted by anyone. But he encouraged, do whatever you can, because you can never really satisfy that orphan's needs. Such orphans are awaiting my beloved. They wait for the month of Ramadan, for the basic means of survival, food and drink. That's all we could provide from here. Where they have rights to be treated just like our own kids. They have rights to be brought into our own household and to give them love and affection and nurture them and help them live their dreams just like our own children. Anytime when our children wish to eat somewhere out, we will feel bad saying no to them. Think of those orphans when that desire comes. They have no one to ask. And we simply cannot bring them over. But the least that we could do is that send them some money. And that too also not your good money I'm talking about that we should be doing though, but at least your zakat. There are about 800 orphans sponsored by Helping Hand. Out of those 800, from this Jum'ah khutbah, they desire to sponsor 150 orphans. And that takes only $50,000, that's it. It will take care of 150 orphans. $1 a day will take care of their needs. These organizations earn my trust. They do their due diligence to deliver your zakat, your contributions to the much needed population and the ummah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. With that, I will leave you to think and give me a few minutes after the salah is finished. And we really need to raise funds. $50,000 is really not that big of a deal with whom Allah has blessed. And with those who have heart and can care and feel the pain of the needs of the children. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to contribute whatever we can. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us during the month of Ramadan to achieve our goals that we have set. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with us and make this Ramadan a memorable Ramadan, a transformative Ramadan, that we will enjoy the close relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant success in this life and the year after. Allahumma ansur al-Islam wal-Muslimina fi kulli makan. Allahumma ansur al-Islam wal-Muslimina fi kulli makan. Allahumma ansur al-Islam wal-Muslimina fi kulli makan. Allahumma habbib ilayna al-iman wa zayyinhu fi qulubina. وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان وجعلنا من الراشدين وجعلنا من الصالحين وجعلنا من التوابين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين اللهم آت أنفسنا تقواها وزكيها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها اللهم إنا نسألك سلامة في الدين وعافية في الجسد وزيادة في العلم والهدى وبركة في الرزق وصحة في العقل إلهي إلهنا توبة قبل الموت وراحة عند الموت والعفو عند الحساب والفوز بالجنة والنجاة من النار برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.